Hi, ladies. Today, my guest is my wonderful friend, Sarah Fasching. She is an entrepreneur and wellness whisperer with 3 businesses that she is currently running. She has incredible story and she's so very thoughtful, and I appreciate so much her insight into what it means to be a woman entrepreneur in a very male dominated industry. She and her husband, Andy, own a home inspection business here in the Phoenix area. And I couldn't be more excited for you to learn more about her story, why she's such a badass, and what their business is doing to be an incredible member of the community. Enjoy. It's so awesome. Welcome to Ladies Kicking Ass. I'm your host, Tanya Wilson, and I'm crazy passionate about encouraging women to tell their hard-earned stories, provide coaching and creative ideas to help you build the service business of your dreams. What's different about this podcast? Well, we are real, and that means most of us are trying to juggle all the things. Being an entrepreneur, mama, wife, sister, friend, doggy mama, and all those other titles that we love. This life is a dance, and we celebrate every twist, step, and dip along the way. This show chats about our wins, our losses, business, relationships, family, and how to get the hell out of our own way and believe in ourselves and our big ideas. The Ladies Kickin' Ass community is full of strong, generous women who support, mentor, and cheer for each other. So, come on, let's get inspired and learn something new today. Welcome to the Ladies Kickin' Ass podcast. Okay, so today's guest has so many different facets to her life and experiences that I can't wait to share with you. Sarah is a true entrepreneur and hardworking mama with 2 grown kids, boys, girls.
I have a son who's 25 and a daughter who's 20, and she's currently modeling out in New York and over in Europe. So exciting.
She's pretty like her mama.
Oh,
she has spent over 20 years working in the construction and custom home space. Fantastic. With real life work in HR, marketing, bookkeeping, and administrative roles. And if you own your own business, you know how to do all of those things because you are all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Today, Sarah has a health and wellness company where she helps people live their healthiest lives and is co-owner with her husband, Andy, in a home inspection company based out of Apache Junction, Arizona. So I can't wait to hear more about why you chose a life in the trades, because as women, that's not really a traditional role to be in. I know there's a lot of women in the support sector of that thing, but to be a co-owner in it puts a whole nother dimension to things. And I'm sure as you guys grow bigger and you start having employees and all of that good stuff, it can be an interesting place to find yourself at every day. So I'm excited to hear about your growth opportunities with that. The first time Sarah and I actually chatted, it felt like we were sitting down as old friends and having conversations. I think we have a lot in common as far as our background with things. We both grew up in very small towns and kind of come from humble beginnings. So why don't you tell our audience a couple things about you, like the way you grew up and what instilled this outstanding work ethic in your life?
Absolutely. So I actually grew up on a dairy farm in Wisconsin, and I really contribute my hard work ethic to that upbringing for sure, because not only did I have to get up and milk the cows before going to school, but we were only allowed to do so many extracurricular activities because, you know, the farm came first and the family came first, and had to get home and milk those cows because they are definitely not waiting for you. So
no, they don't. They want to eat, and they need to be milked.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then my mom had a severe heart issue pretty much throughout my whole entire teenagerhood. So I was kind of the one who took over as the mom. I was the oldest of 3. I have 2 younger siblings, a brother and a sister, and I was the mom. And that, I think, really put forth that strong work ethic. and, just wanting to help others. And I got into pageants at the age of 13. They were scholarship-based pageants. I wanted to help out my family or my parents with helping with college and tuition. And I loved to sing. And so, any competition that had a talent, I was all there. And I went to Minnesota for college. For vocal music performance, I had a severe anaphylactic attack from, I have no idea what.
That's crazy.
But it totally changed the trajectory. Yeah, my tongue was getting all twisted there.
That's okay.
Of life.
Yeah.
And I didn't finish my first year of college. I was going for vocal music performance, but met my ex and started a family, and it was just weird how I got into construction. I started working for a company called Bartley Sales. They were a toilet accessories company. And then I just really needed to provide for my family because I started having kids, and I found a commercial general contractor that hired me and just slowly moved up the ranks.
Nice.
And, just always was wanting to learn more, and take on anything and everything I possibly could. And without having a college degree, I was still really, really super successful, just always having my eyes and ears open to everything. And just really, truly contribute that, though, to my upbringing on the farm and just that really hard work, family-oriented effort. So that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Awesome. That is excellent. And pageants wasn't just a small part of that. You won a quite a prestigious title with pageants, didn't you?
Thank you. Yes, I did. I won Mrs. Minnesota United States in 2007, and that led me on another little career path. Yeah. I started coaching, and I had a small coaching business for about 10 years where I coached young ladies from the age of 6 all the way up to 56. And helped them really, truly become more confident, gain those lifelong skills of interviewing and stage presence and confidence that they could just use in any facet of life.
Yeah,
whether it be for their job, public speaking, getting up in front of their community or their church, or it was just so inspiring to see them reach those goals that they, chose to attain for themselves. And then also the physical fitness aspect of it.
Sure.
And see so many of them that I was able to help lose the weight, get in better shape, take more command of their health. And that was just really, truly rewarding.
That's amazing. That is amazing. So many people too. I find that fascinating, from like 6 to 56. What did you see that was kind of, I think it's very interesting that's a huge age gap. I mean, that's 50 years age gap. Did you see that there was a unique pattern with those women that you worked with that was like one of the number one things people struggled with when you're trying to, like, you're teaching them to have confidence, or you're trying to give them confidence to be in front of people and to speak their voice and stand up for something? Is there something that was a common thing that people really struggled with?
Well, the interviewing aspect of it was truly difficult for every age group. It was, how are you going to spark that interest in the judge to make them look at you and want to basically fall in love with you? So the key thing that I always taught them was, you need to paint a picture, you need to tell a story, and you need to use descriptive words, to put that image in their mind that's going to make them remember you for what you told them. There's this saying where the majority of what you say in an interview, the specifics, the words, aren't always going to be remembered, but it's going to be how you make them feel or how you make them think.
Yeah.
And when you can pull out something that's just truly unique and special about you in your interview, and really truly paint that picture in their mind, that's what's going to stick with them.
Sure.
And that's what's going to stand out over all those other girls that are up there on that stage. And so that's what we really tried to, pull out and get them to think about that in their interviews. So that's cool.
Huge for job interviews. That's huge for sales. That's huge for leading a team of people. It truly is. And I don't know whose quote that was, but it was like, it's not truly like what you say, it's that people remember. It's how you made them feel.
Yes.
Which is a huge thing, because when I interview people that come in here, I'm like, didn't get good vibes off them. They could have like all of the candy coated answers and they've practiced really good at being a good interview, but I just didn't feel a vibe with you. Like, right. I'm a big energy person. Like, I just don't like their energy, or I love their energy. I want to get to know this person more.
Exactly.
So I think that is such a huge thing and such a cool thing to be able to have coached and helped so many people be able to do that.
Yeah, you have to be real. You have to be genuine. You can't try and mold yourself after somebody else.
Yeah.
Because that's not what's going to cut it.
Sure.
And, truly, we've all heard, you've got competition and you've got this or that, but you really, truly are competing with yourself day in and day out. And you should be so much more focused on yourself and making yourself better than comparing yourself to anybody else. And that goes along with everything in life.
Yes, absolutely. We talk about that a lot here, because in the trades industry so much too, people will say, well, the competition, and they compare themselves to the competition in everything. And that's something we talk about all the time with my business is we don't compete. We don't have competitors out there. Our competition is what we did yesterday.
Right.
So how can we be better at what we did yesterday? Because as far as I'm concerned, there are other septic companies out there, but they're not touching what we're doing. And I know that for a fact.
Right.
So if we compare ourselves to them, just like I always equate this to like going to play a round of golf. Do you golf at all?
Nope.
If you go golfing, or any sport really, but I look at it as golf because I know what this does to me. Like if I go golfing, like hitting with my kids or going golfing with my girlfriends, like we're just drinking wine and having social hour, but if I go golfing with my husband and his buddies that are serious, I'm like, damn, you're pretty good at golf, like you will play in whatever arena that you're surrounded with that stuff. So it's very interesting, the comparison of stuff like that. So, and I think that brings a real genuine aspect out in people too. Like if you're genuinely being yourself with things, then you are so much more just vibe attraction for other people that are like you, We're pretty bold in the way that we talk and stuff like that. And that might not we're not going to gel with somebody that's very soft spoken. They'd be like, oh, those guys are a train wreck, I know, that's too intimidating to me, and same goes back with the other one too. Like it's very difficult for me to be around somebody that's very quiet, because that makes me nervous, because I feel like I have to minimize myself too.
Right.
So cool to be able to have helped all of those people. So
for sure.
So tell me about what you do with your health and wellness business, and what do you love about that?
Absolutely. Well, so almost 14 years now. In March, it'll be 14 years. I was kind of at my wit's end. My family was struggling. My daughter had a lot of skin sensitivity issues. I was having skin sensitivity issues. I think, earlier on in the podcast, I mentioned I had a severe anaphylactic attack, which I had no idea what had caused that. Went through all the skin testing and all this kind of stuff. And still to this day, I don't know, I must be a weird case. But, I was just so frustrated. Cheyenne, my daughter, she was having a lot of issues with eczema. And I'm like, what can I do? I was sick and tired of going to the doctor, getting the expensive steroid creams. They'd work for a little bit and then we're right back at it again. So I don't know. I think, Facebook was kind of a new thing back then, but I put something out there, and a girlfriend of mine from pageants reached out to me, and she's like, I think I might have something that could help you and your family. She shared it with me, and it was awesome because it was a wellness company that's been around for 30 some plus years. They really truly value, their mission statement, enhancing the lives of others. And they have cleaning products, they have personal care products, laundry care products, and it was like all non-toxic. So I'm like, okay, I am going to buy the big bundle and I'm going to wipe out all the toxins in my house, right? Well, a couple days later, I lost my job. And it was right in like 08, 09. When the housing market tanked. I was working for a big construction company, and I had just brought on this new gal that I trained in. And of course, I was the bigger money maker. So I got the boot.
Yeah.
I train her in, and then I get the boot. So I felt like a complete loser. Didn't know what to do. I had just bought this big package, and cleaned out all the toxins in my house, and they were working great, but my girlfriend reached out to me and she's like, I'm here for you. I can help you. And so in a matter of a couple of days, I got a couple of awesome paychecks that helped put food on the table, pay for my bills. And I was living in Minnesota. This is March, mind you, middle of winter. I needed new tires on my car because they were going bald and I would have been in the ditch. Not a good thing, in the Minnesota winters. So it was even enough money to put the tires on my car. Life happens, and a couple days later, literally in a couple of days, this all just like happened. I got another job, and life just took a different course, and I continued to be a shopper. And once I moved down to Arizona, I have a fitness background too. My husband and I, we used to own a gym back in Minnesota before we moved down to Arizona. And so our passion for health and wellness and fitness has been long going. So I'm like, you know what? This is a great opportunity to grow that business alongside our home inspection business because everything is dealing with home. Everyone is looking for safer, better, more affordable, delivered to your door. They want to take care of their families. We all got slapped in the face with COVID, a couple of years ago. And just like a lot of not good information, true good ways of taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
So it's just been a journey, and a great journey, because I feel like I've really found my passion being a full-time entrepreneur here in Arizona and just, feeding all of my happy places with health and wellness and with the home inspection business. And we're just excited about the future and what it holds. So
excellent. Well, you can see the passion on your face for that.
Oh,
so
thank you.
It is very cool to see that. So one of the biggest things that we talk about a lot on this podcast is just like productivity hacks and things like that. So as far as your business is run, now you've got like 2 things that you're working on, which I've had 2 businesses, 3 businesses at the same time. And you're like, holy shit, which one of these things do I focus on here in between having kids and all these other things going on? Like, what is one of your favorite productivity hacks when it comes to being an entrepreneur and getting all the stuff done?
Well, I love Post-it notes. Post-it notes are everywhere, and they're all over my desk. It looks like a bomb has exploded. But I'm just an organized person. I'm very detailed. I love Excel spreadsheets. I know enough to be dangerous. I don't know all the formulas and all the crazy stuff, but they really help me keep organized with the financials for all the businesses, the scheduling, you name it. And I really feel like what we have created for ourselves and the businesses that we have going on, they just intermingle so well and have so much flexibility that we are able to just constantly be pivoting. So, home inspections, you kind of take them as they come. There isn't too much pre-scheduling or scheduling out that you can do with home inspections because, when you're dealing with buyers and sellers, they have a contract window. They have to get things done within a certain time frame. You can maybe schedule out like your new builds a little bit more, especially like the 11-month warranty inspections, just because, if they contact you early enough, you have a little bit of flexibility. But then with the health and wellness business too, it's, I'm just helping people set up their shopping accounts and shop. So it's pretty simple. And, all these things you can do any day, anytime. It doesn't matter.
Sure.
And we like to keep those options open too. We do inspections any day of the week. I help people shop any day of the week.
Sure.
And so to us, like having that flexibility and free time, it's, kind of in a sense, I don't know what day of the week it is.
Yeah.
Every day is like living retired or living free or, getting to still do our fun stuff throughout the day. Like I can wake up and I can go for a hike if I don't have anything going on. Or my husband and I, we always like to get to the gym in the afternoon. And all of our businesses just really, truly allow for that flexibility because I think that that's what we've chosen and that's what we kind of put out there in the universe, and it just transpires.
I love to hear you say that you make the time to do those things, because I think for people that are entrepreneurs, I'm talking to myself right now. They feel like their to-do list is never ending, and I don't have time to do this, or I don't have time to do this, or their calendar is 7,000 different colors and there's no white spot.
Yes.
Because they feel like their work is never done. It's never done. I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this. Yep. So how do you keep with what you're doing and not get into that? That truly is like an entrepreneurial trap. We go into business ourselves. I did the same thing. I needed to have the flexibility to always be there for my kids. As a single mom, I had to do what I had to do to be there for my kids. But then I actually translate that into, okay, great. Now I'm working 80 hours a week on these businesses versus taking the time out and making that a priority to live that life you wanted to without over consuming your time with just work stuff. How do you keep those two things aligned? We don't say balanced on this podcast because that's like the ultimate F word here.
Oh no,
it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist.
Well,
it's a juggle of stuff like that. But how do you prioritize your things like that with your business and your personal stuff?
Well, I don't want to lay down the F-bomb here, but 2023, my word for the year was actually balance.
Balance?
So, F-bomb.
You know what? That is fantastic. And I want you to tell me why, because I would love to not be so scared of that word. I feel like balance, to me, when I say balance, I suck at it so bad that I feel like I'm failing all the time, because to me, balance needs to be this perfectly aligned thing. So I'd love to hear what your take on balance is.
So Andy and I have been together for almost 7 years, and we've been married for the past, it'll be 4 here. When we met, I had come from a really long relationship, a long marriage, 18 years, almost 20 years together. And he had come from a marriage of a couple of years. And when we met, there was so many things that aligned. And we set ourselves up before we moved down here to Arizona to live life simple. Mm-hmm. We wanted to never go back to work for anyone ever again. We wanted to live simple, live within our means, and have a really happy work-life, play-life balance.
Yeah.
So that was our focus. Mm-hmm. And granted, I mentioned before how we owned a gym in Minnesota. Andy, when I met him, had this gym where he was the personal trainer and he was the gym owner of this small boutique gym for 8+ years. And we were going to open up a gym down here, but God works in mysterious ways. Yeah. And with COVID, it absolutely wasn't going to happen. And it was so good because that did not fit our plan.
Sure.
Owning a gym, a 24-hour gym, you're living, eating, breathing there.
Yes.
And it was like, that was not a happy work-life, play-life balance.
Sure.
Absolutely not. And so, we were building a new house, and they wanted more money to do the build out to the gym. And so right then and there, it was like that God wink. we knew, okay, we have to stop this and we need to go down a different path. And that's when we came up with home inspections. And, you know, when you're starting up any business, it's a lot of work.
Sure.
Okay. Like I created all of our websites. I'm the IT, I'm the accounting, I'm the networking, social media crazy lady.
Yeah. You're all those things.
And I am like, go, 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 go.
Sure.
You know, I am like sitting at my office chair almost like 24/7. Whereas my husband, he does his thing and then he is like chilling.
Yeah.
You know, and he loves that.
I wish
so
I could
he's
do
the
that.
one who keeps me grounded.
Yeah.
He really, truly does. And, you know, it was him that kind of had to almost like smack me out of it and say, you know what was our purpose? What did we truly want down here? You know, and it all goes back and stems to that living within your means, figuring out what it is that you truly want in life and what really makes you happy. And all the money in the world and all the materialistic things do not make you happy.
Nope.
You know, it's family, it's God, it's country, it's, you know, making a difference in people's lives and in the community that surrounds you, and just being happy too, truly with yourself, you know, and your partner. So I was spending a little bit too much time last year trying to reach certain goals and all that kind of stuff and not having faith and trust.
Yeah.
And so, you know, at the start of the year, it was like, I need to create more balance. And I have been able to truly calm those things down and just kind of figure it out and not be so, I think as entrepreneurs, we get so worked up and we're going 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And we're wanting to get so much done thinking that that's going to make us truly successful.
Yeah.
And when you just take one or two things and you make them great, it's all going to fall into place and it's all going to lead to, you know, more productivity and more, you know, success. So, I
think not feeling like you have to have everything done today too.
Right.
You know, that is something that I know that I have very much struggled with. My husband does that too. Like, I'll be like, how could you possibly be sitting here? There's so much stuff to get done, you know?
I know, like they are so much alike. It's so crazy.
I envy your ability to take a 15-minute power nap. I don't know what that feels like, you know? He's like, but you should try it and then you would know. And I'm like, yeah, I'll pass. No, I need to get more of that too. Yeah. So I like where you're going with that balance thing. And that gives me a challenge too, to not look at it at such a negative thing. Like really, like, are you balancing spending, you know, I truly feel like there are seasons of stuff too, where like work's just super crazy. And so I'm not doing this so much, or like since Christmas happened, we've been so busy in January with everything that I still have Christmas decorations laying all over my house. I'm like, nice. And I was like, I'm going to take Monday off and I'm going to put all this Christmas stuff away. Like, it's driving me crazy. I just worked from home all day. Let's be real. But it's truly about making time for those priorities and realizing like, okay, everybody's sick of tripping over all this stuff. Like, we got to put this stuff away. Right. Or really delegating that to someone else to help you be able to do that. Because I think as entrepreneurs too, when we have worn all the hats for so long, I know I struggle with that big time at home too, because I was a single mom for so long that now I'm like, I feel like a naggy bitch or something if I'm like asking my husband to do stuff all the time. But then we look at them and we're like, how come you're not helping me? You know, like you have to. I'm learning very much. The last few months I've been working really hard on that too, of like asking people for help. And that can be something in your business too. Lots of people love to help. And we talk about that. That's the reason why I have this podcast and this community. I know that you're very much into doing stuff like that. We're very good at giving help, but we're not very good at receiving help sometimes. Do you find yourself in that position too?
Oh, for sure. And that was exactly the boat that I was in my previous relationship for a long time, because everything was on my shoulders. And I felt like a single mom, even though I wasn't. Sure. But yeah. And then with Andy, I mean, it's so totally different. I mean, he probably does more cooking and cleaning than I do. And he's amazing at it too. Oh my gosh, he's a really good cook. And so, but getting through that and feeling like, okay, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't like a bad thing on me.
Sure.
That's how I felt in the beginning,
Yeah.
But it's nice. And I've always been a firm believer of this, that communication is key.
Mm-hmm.
And communication is so important and so key with your spouse, your relationships, your jobs. I mean, all of that kind of stuff. So, I mean, when you are able to truly just sit down and hash things out and really listen to one another,
mm-hmm.
then you're able to move forward and figure things out and, make progress and
sure,
and have more success that way. So, yeah, when you're in your own home and you're running businesses out of your own home, it's surrounding you 24/7. It's so easy to just pop over to that desk and just like stay there, and you get in your groove, and before you know it, it's like hours upon hours that have gone by.
Yeah.
And I love being creative. I absolutely, I've love creating marketing materials. I love Canva. I'm on
Me
Canva
too.
like all the freaking time.
Like 7 hours later, you're like, but look at all the beautiful things I've created.
Yeah, and you're putting together all your social media content and then, doing website updates and creating those. And oh my goodness, and yeah, I am the kind of person too that loves helping other people and giving. And you just sometimes have to take a step back. And right around the holidays, perfect timing. Got a little sick. We went back to Minnesota the beginning of December to see family for Christmas. Got sick when we came back. And I was like, you know what? I'm not doing any social media posting.
Yeah.
I didn't have my December calendar organized yet. So I skipped December. I skipped January. And it felt so good to just take that mental break. And we are still like crazy busy, you know, with all of our businesses. But I just took a break. And sometimes you need to do that.
Sometimes you definitely need to do that. Get things aligned again.
Yeah. You need that refresh.
Yes, you can feel when that's coming. So we jumped into this and started talking about this, working with your spouse.
Yeah.
Sometimes can be no easy task. And I think a lot of the listeners in this community also work with their spouses. Either it's very obviously traditional in this home service industry that the partner spouse is working for another company, and then he decides, I'm going to start my own business, but I'm going to go do this stuff and you figure out the rest of this stuff. Doing the actual service is no small task. I totally get that and understand that. But this is, I'm doing service. You're doing bookkeeping. You're doing website designing. You're doing social media. You're doing accounting. You're doing trying to figure out taxes. You're doing, there's this huge group of stuff. And that was the whole basis behind starting Ladies Kicking Ass, is because I was that woman. That's how I got into this industry too, was same exact way. And I was like, I need to network with other women that are in these kinds of businesses. And I would go to networking things, and it would be like an insurance agent and not home service based stuff. And I think with the home service industry, you may be delivering a different service, but the processes are very similar in the way that you will do things with people. Like if you're a pest control or a pool company, it's pretty much kind of the same routine on the inside of the business, where the service may be a little bit different, but that internal structure is huge for stuff. So I know that your husband does the inspections. You're the person that's in the office. My husband works for my pumping company. He's out in the field doing estimates and doing all of this stuff. I'm more in the office doing the marketing and all of the stuff like you're talking about. How do you and Andy make that work? How do you not lose your marriage in your business? Because sometimes it can be very difficult not to make that just become one big thing.
Right.
How do you guys do that?
I mean, it really is helpful when you each have your own lanes.
Yeah.
And you each have your own things that you're good at. Because I think when they cross over and they intermingle, everyone's got their own way of doing things. And then that's when it gets tricky or convoluted. And then just being accepting of that too, like Andy he will 100% tell you I suck at technology.
Yeah.
So he's like, it is not my friend. I hate it. Like it gets him absolutely frustrated when technology doesn't work, or when he's trying to send his pictures that he took out at a home inspection and they just will not go through, drives him batty.
Yes.
So, and that might be the only little thing that gets a little tricky or that gets a little frustrating, because I like the technology. I mean, yes, it makes me mad too when it's not working properly. And I am not a genius or a wizard when it comes to all that kind of stuff. I'm all a self-taught person.
Yep.
But we are both very like hands-on. And so we both want to actually do it to figure it out. Yeah. And that's sometimes the battle, because I just want to take his phone and I just want to like play with it and figure it out and make it work, make it happy. And he wants to do the same thing though, because he's like, I'm frustrated. I want to learn. I want to figure out how to make it work too. So, and when you have that, it's a little frustrating, because you're like, well, I don't know really how to work it out. So I got to like try and play with it. Or Google is our friend. Google is definitely our friend. But we definitely each know where we stand and what is our strong suit. So, coming from construction backgrounds though, too, for both of us, that has helped our business tremendously. Andy was a union journeyman plumber for 10 plus years before the housing market tanked back in 08, 09. That's when he went after his passion of personal training and being a gym owner for 8 years. I've been in commercial construction for 20 some years, and then working the last 3 years in Minnesota for a custom home builder. So I have the whole office manager, HR, IT, marketing thing down pat, and he is just in the field, in the trenches, but then like with his gym ownership, he is so good at communicating with people, the realtors, the home buyers, the sellers, the 55 plus community managers, everybody, because he dealt with so many different personalities being a personal trainer.
Sure.
So it's a good combination, and we communicate really well too, because, even though I'm talking to the people on the front end and getting them scheduled and, taken care of in that aspect, he's talking to them when they're out on site. And then we're like telling each other the experiences, or, what did you hear? What did I hear? And then how can we make things better or run more smoothly? And it just really, truly helps. And I think when you can each appreciate that and own it, your strengths and your weaknesses, that's what's going to make it work.
That's huge. That is super huge. Really, for us too, like, I know, like every Saturday we have like, it's our date night. We'll go out, and without fail, one of us will start talking about work stuff. It's like become such a default for us that we have both too said, like, we both have permission to be like, shut up and quit talking about, you're talking about work again. You're talking about work again. Because you can't really, like, if you're just connecting over that all the time. And that's where, like, I see so many people struggle with their marriage, because they're like, we don't have conversations about us anymore. We just talk about this business all the time. Do you guys struggle with that?
You hit the nail on the head. You absolutely hit it spot on, because that happens to us all the time too. Yeah. When, like I said, when you are working out of your own home too, it is like around you 24/7. And it's so easy to just get back to that desk. And like I said, though, I'm usually the guilty party.
Me too.
I'm always the bad one that's bringing it all up. And he's just like, stop. I don't want to talk about work. This is not work time right now. Or he's like, put your phone away. It's gym time. You don't need to like look or answer or do anything with that thing for at least 30 minutes while we get our workout done. He is so good at separating that kind of stuff. And so he's my constant,
It's good to have that.
Yeah.
It's good that one we have that for ourselves.
Yeah. We have to have that
So,
one person,
yeah.
you know, in our relationship that is constantly keeping us in check and kind of keeping us grounded. And yeah, I mean, there's times too where we get our kind of getaway is going out for hikes.
Mm-hmm.
We love being out in the Arizona nature and going for hikes, and then just, you know, seeing the beauty all around us and talking about it. And, you know, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So
it's good to you got to get away from it.
yes,
to get away
you
from
get
it.
out in the environment and the nature,
Mm-hmm.
and it just takes over.
Yes.
And
oh,
that's good.
There's nothing better than nature.
Yes.
Nothing. So knowing what you know now about owning your inspection business and your health and wellness stuff that you do, what advice would you give to your brand new entrepreneurial self?
Well, I don't necessarily think I would change anything different. I would just tell other people that just stay simple, simple, do the things that are free, that are low cost, because there's so many things out there that you can take advantage of. You know, get a Google business listing, get your Google reviews going like crazy. You know, everybody searches these days. You don't need to spend a fortune on a fancy dancy website. You just have to have a presence out there and a place for people to go that is going to serve your purpose. You know, and then just get out there and network with people.
Yeah.
People love the face-to-face contact.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they really, truly love seeing a friendly face. And then when you get that, people are just going to start spreading and sharing who you are with others.
Yeah.
And that's what's really going to grow your business. Don't spend a lot thinking that you need to have all the bells and whistles or all the tools or, you know, a big truck with fully wrapped, you know, like just start off small.
Mm-hmm.
And do the right things that cost you basically nothing.
Sure.
And get that money coming in the door, because I think so many people will put themselves out of business before they even open their doors.
Oh, absolutely. So, just like we were talking about before we started recording this, we're talking about people that, you know, like, I got to get this big loan, like a small business loan for what? You know, to just get started. I'm like, what are you buying with it? Well, like my website and stuff. I'm like, you can build that yourself.
Exactly.
Like really being resourceful about a lot of things, like spreading the word. We met at a networking event,
Mm-hmm.
like just getting out. People want to do business with people. And I think that's even ever more present. Like people will say, like, you took the break from social media. I actually took a break from doing the podcast at the end of last year too, because I was just hit a wall and I was like, something's got to give somewhere. So, and it was like, it was so good for me because I was able to kind of reboot what direction I wanted to go with this anyways, instead of being like, oh, we got to throw something together. And it's like this half-ass something that we put out because we're trying to do everything.
Right.
Focus on one thing. If you're in a home service business, focus on Facebook. Like, that's it. You don't have to be on Twitter and you don't have to be on TikTok. All these other, TikTok. You don't have to be all over these places and doing stuff. Like, focus where your audience is at. Like for home service, I would definitely say Instagram, Facebook. If you post to Facebook, it goes to Instagram.
Yeah.
Or vice
tie
versa.
the two
so
together.
tie them together and you've done 2 in 1 there, you know?
Exactly.
But getting out and forming relationships with people. Like I love having conversations with women that I meet at these events that we go to. And of course, like the bypass of that is now, or the byproduct of that is now, I know that you have a home inspection business. Right. Obviously, when I buy a house, I will call your company to do the home inspection. Or if someone asks, I have a home service business too, so I will refer you to other people that I know as well. So those things are and I know you've already done that for me too. And it's been like a couple of conversations that we've had with each other. You know, there's so many good people out there to connect with. And I think a lot of times people lose themselves behind a screen of a computer thinking this is what's going to make my business grow.
Right. And don't be afraid to have conversations or to open up, speak out about, you know, what's frustrating you or what kind of questions do you have? Yes. Or don't be afraid to ask somebody else, even if it's in your own industry.
Yes.
Like, what are you doing? Like, how are you being successful? Or what is your frustrations? Or, learn from one another.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we are all in this together. And I think if you have more of a mindset like that and not look at other people like they're your competition,
Yeah.
but you learn and grow and help each other. I mean, I honestly, I love having conversations with so many other new solo entrepreneurs or small businesses that are starting up. And I love just sharing with them, just outpouring everything I've done.
Yes.
To just hopefully help them be as super successful as well.
I think there's a new wave of that really coming through this industry. I think home service industry has been like this blue collar good old boys club so long that you hold all your trade secrets under your vest and no one knows what the hell you're doing, and we don't tell them and we don't help them, and you never have a strategic alliance with anyone in your industry because they're your competition. Don't collaborate with them. It's so important that you have collaborations with them. If they're too busy and they can't take on the work, you can refer work back and forth together. If I've got a truck down and I need some help with some stuff, I can call another company and I know they'll help me out with things like that. And what are you doing to get this? Where are you taking your stuff to dump it at? Where are you getting your real estate agents from? Like, hook me up and I'll hook you up. Kind of a situation.
Sure. And see, we don't have any aspirations either of expanding our home inspection business. We always wanted to be a husband and wife team. You know, we want to control it. And we also, I mean, I know from my HR experience, I don't really want employees because I know the whole can of worms that opens up.
Sure.
So, and not everybody can understand that or appreciate that. But everybody has their own path, and what's good for one person isn't good for another person. But when you can keep an open ear and you can listen and hear what other people are saying and take something from that,
sure,
it's just going to make you that much better of a person.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that I love that you bring it up that you guys aren't looking to be like, oh, I've got to expand and I'm going to have 17 routes and I'm going to have all of this stuff, because a lot of times that destroys what you're working on at the moment because you're just looking so far ahead all the time. You're not enjoying where you're at with stuff. Obviously, having a team and employees brings on all kinds of different things like that, because as a business owner, you truly, when you have employees, if you don't have the right team of people, you feel like you are now working for them.
Yes.
Which I have definitely been in that aspect before of employees saying, well, what time are you going to be here today? Or, well, you didn't come to the office today. I'm like, excuse me? I don't feel like that at all with the current team that I have whatsoever, because the expectation I have learned as a business owner too, to set those expectations of communication, really. Here's my schedule for the week and I'll see you on this day or this day or this day. Or I have set meetings with them to do those things.
Right.
But the employee thing does, obviously create a whole nother level to your business that you don't have as a husband and wife team. And if you are looking, like you've said several times through this, of like the simple lifestyle of things, it's okay to stay that way. You don't have to be exploding at the seams all the time. And I love that you actually will say stuff like that, because a lot of people will be like, oh, I don't know what people are going to think if I say these things. Like being honest about shit you're struggling with, or just being real, like, we're not going to expand. This is who we are and this is what we want to do.
Yeah, I don't like it when you have a mentality that you are only successful if you make six figures or more, or you are only successful if you have a certain house or a certain vehicle or whatever. As soon as you get into that trap, you are going to lose what truly matters.
Yes.
And you are not putting your priorities in check, and you will lose focus on the B word, the big balance word. You will lose focus on your family and your children. And, it's like, I heard this once and it's so totally true. A job is just over broke.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't Andy and I, we don't want to work for anybody anymore. Mm-hmm. We want to be in control of our own lives, and we want to make sure that our health, our happiness, our success is what matters most to us. And when you are working a job,
Mm-hmm.
you are not in that boat.
No.
You are a slave to your job. And
Yes.
you are just working and working and working. And for what?
Yeah.
You know? And there are so many other sacrifices that go along with that.
Huge sacrifices. I tell my husband all the time, I'm like, I'm the most unemployable human ever because I don't want anyone ever telling me how to spend my time.
Exactly.
And that is truly one of my deepest fears, is having to have a job.
Yes.
That someone says, you must trade your time for this amount of money. It's limitations on time. It's limitations on income. It's limitations on so many things. And I understand that some people will look at that and that's their security, is they know that I'm here from here, I'm here from here. And they love the routine and the security of this given paycheck. And that's fantastic. I appreciate that. I have people that work in my business that are like that, and I love them all dearly, but that is not my life path to have whatsoever. So I'll take the stress of whatever comes with a business because my income potential is mine and mine alone.
Right.
And I think that's so amazing for people to, like, for us, something I heard years ago Tony Robbins say was like, when you start a business like this, if you want to be successful and you're really all in, like, you truly have to burn the boats and just do the damn thing. You know, if you're like, well, I'm going to try it, but then I have this fallback thing, you are never going to be successful in your business because you've always got a safety net, you know, when you've really got to walk the line and get the shit done.
Yeah,
then
sometimes
you're going to fall
all the way in to like figure it out, right?
We're going to learn to fly on the way back down.
Yes.
So thank you so much. Is there anything else that you would like to add? Tell people where they can find you and tell them about your event that you have coming up.
Yes, absolutely. So we're all over social media. We have A to Z home inspections. You can find us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. Our website is the2Z homeinspections.us. So that's .us, not .com. And, you know, you can call us, text us. We've got a form on our website that you can fill out that gets the ball rolling. You'll get me. Even though you'll think you're talking to Andy, it's me. And we do have an event coming up on February 23rd at La Ristra in downtown Chandler. It is going to be a networking event. It's going to give you helpful tips on how to be successful starting off your business or if you're already in business. Mm-hmm. And it's also going to help you just be healthier. And, you know, we always say your health is your wealth. And how truly successful can you and your business be if it isn't for your health? So it's going to be, you know, a great event. Guys, gals, everybody, you know, if you are working the job or if you are a solo entrepreneur or whatever, just come on down and we're going to have some fun. And it's going to be from 11:30 to 1 on that Thursday, the 23rd. And we're looking forward to, you know, great success and having this down the road too, you know, where we can continue to thrive and grow and help people prosper. I will clue you in on another little segue of some fun that we're having. We wish we would have started this in our whole transition from Minnesota to Arizona. Okay. But we started a YouTube channel. Oh, nice. Called Destination Desert. And it has been so much fun. And we're learning and excited about just being able to feed upon that free time more and go on little trips. And we bought our very first camper. And that led to buying a truck. Now
I know why you got the big beast.
Yep, I got the big beast. And yeah, it's going to be so much fun to be able to look back on this whole journey and the experiences and the fun and, of course, the not so fun stuff too.
Sure. There's always that.
Yeah, we're just having fun with it. And we really hope that, you know, people can subscribe to our channel and follow us and participate and comment and, you know, tell us what you want to see. I mean, we want it to be we've got a couple of 4-wheelers, we got a couple of dirt bikes. We want to explore mostly the desert because that's just where our heart is and our passion. But we're gonna be taking some journeys here and there.
That's so cool.
And we'd love to have you along for the ride.
Excellent. So. Well, I will link all of that stuff in the show notes too, so then they can just have a quick little link to go check all that out.
Yeah, and I do have a website too for our wellness business. It's just sarahfasching.com. And that flyer for the event that we have upcoming on the 23rd, that should be up on the website. So just look for an events tab and you'll be able to find the information on there. And yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Well, send that to me too, and I will post it and get everything up on there. So one last question in closing.
Yes.
Ladies Kicking Ass is all about building a community of unique kick-ass women who are intentionally trying to help others get to their bigger goals. So my final question to everyone always is, in your own words, what does the phrase ladies kicking ass mean to you?
I think it's just the spirit of what drives us ladies. And we are caregivers. We are the ones that always want to help other people. And I absolutely loved it when we first met, and the whole ladies kicking ass theme and everything, on how it just inspires us to be strong and united. And we need more of that. Yes. And also I think we need to be more encouraging to our younger generation and inspiring them to go for their dreams, whatever it may be. College isn't for everybody. Having a career in the fields or the construction trades, isn't for everybody. But go after your passion, go after your desires. And honestly, don't feel like you have to be committed to one thing for the rest of your life. Be able to pivot and change and, just live life to the fullest, because we have no idea what's going to bring us down, the path in the future days that are upcoming. So I embrace the ladies kicking ass spirit. And excellent. I think it's going to be a wonderful way to just connect other lady entrepreneurs in lots of different fields.
Yes,
so,
I think cool. So too. I love it. Yay! I love it. Thank you so much for being here and for sharing your story with everybody. And we'll get everything posted up and we'll get you shared all over the place. So thank you so much for being here.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for having me. This was absolutely a pleasure and a joy. And I'm so excited.
Excellent.
Yay.
Thank you so much for being here, and check us out for, make sure that you check in the show notes for all of the stuff Sarah was talking about. She has some incredible events coming up. Make sure that you're following Ladies Kicking Ass on all of those channels again, too. The links are down below so that you will get updates about all these fun things that she has going on. Have a great day. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Ladies Kickin' Ass podcast. I hope you loved it. Hey, if you got a lot out of today's show and you think a friend of yours may love it too, please do me a really quick favor. Screenshot the episode, post it, tag us at Ladies Kickin' Ass, or share the link to the episode. I'm here to help and support as many ladies as I can, and your generosity in sharing the show means the world to me. Don't forget, hit subscribe to be notified of all newly released episodes, and leaving the show a 5-star review is the ultimate expression of love for our team. If you're interested in becoming a guest on the podcast, I would so love to hear from you. Shoot me a DM on Instagram or Facebook and we'll chat further. Thank you for being part of our tribe, and until next time, go kick some ass, lady.